Awesome. So, Brittany, I will let you go ahead and get started. If you have time at the end for questions, people can just drop them in the chat. I'll kind of man it, and then we can just start asking those at the end.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. Go ahead.
So hey guys, my name is Britany Boatright. I'll do a quick intro, but let me go ahead and just take over the screen here and talk about what it looks like to master the 5 moves of having consistent business. And none of this, if my teammates are on here and I have folks that are, we just moved over to EXP that are just seeing me talk about this for the first time, is nothing new. I say this pretty consistently to every agent I come in into contact with. But a lot of times I think that we're looking for a magic pill or a silver bullet to having consistent business, and really is just mastering 5 key things. Please, if you do have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll get to them at the end of that. Happy to speak with you guys about that. So a real quick introduction about myself. I've been a real estate agent. It'll be 8 years, June 18th. First generation business owner here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm all about God, family, business. So God is ahead of my life. And then I have a husband. He serves in the Air Force full time. This will be our 14 years in this upcoming August. And we have a 3-year-old son. So I pretty much started my team out of a necessity. I found myself being too overwhelmed with business, like a lot of us did during those COVID years. And I needed a way to serve my clients at a high level and also to empower my agents. So started a team, fell forward a lot with that, and fell forward so much that I decided to open up my own real estate brokerage. So until this past Monday, we were with realty executives. I have my own firm, office, employees, all that overhead, all the chaos and goodness that comes from that. But now we're with EXP Realty just to use all those systems and tools and be in community with the folks that I already collaborate with a lot. So a lot of what I'm sharing is going to be things that I tell my team over and over, so much so that I sound like a broken record, but they're really the things that are the basics to having a business. I've done this so long to now I have repeat clients. Like I just had my team meeting and I had someone in my inbox saying, come list my house out and loud, and do you serve this way, because I don't want to work with anybody else but you. But he is someone that I always have kept on my different campaigns. So I'll talk about some of the tactical stuff, but we're going to go over the different ideas. The very first thing that you do when you are thinking about starting any sort of business is lead generation. So you literally have to be a rainmaker, as they call it, my previous organization, to where you're providing the opportunities for your teammates. And if you're solo, you're going to be a rainmaker for your own business. So what does that look like? There's different places going out there to get business. Of course, we're talking about Winning Wednesdays with Easy Home Search. Easy Home Search is one of my greatest pipeline fillers for my team and our business. But we have 3 different levers that we really rely on. And what I coach my agents to, whether they're solo at my office or they're also building a team as well, is that you want to have 3 different levers when you're looking at lead generation. Because unlike the COVID times when everybody's uncle and aunt was buying and selling the house, you were heavily relying on that SOI. That has unfortunately dried up for a lot of folks that I know here in our local market. So I'm coaching them through what other avenues have you pursued to get real estate business. So for us, saying yes to Easy Home Search last June or May, Travis has to correct me on that, was very easy, because we were looking for a way to where I could scale the team, bring in a lot of opportunities, and it still makes sense as a cost-effective thing for myself as an owner operator. So Easy Home Search is one of our lead sources, and we have several other ones. I lean heavily on social media. So if you guys are afraid to be on camera, afraid of posting things, I would definitely challenge that. All businesses, especially your Facebook business page, people go there if they want to see client testimonials, see your reviews, get to know you. I do a lot of my lead generation just by sharing my life. It's not very salesy at all. I come across as myself. It is very intentional, because if I have to be on social media, I better enjoy it. So just being yourself will attract and repel the right people from your life. If you want to be in this business long term, you better like the people you work with. So just be yourself on social media. And the other thing, of course, is referrals. That's a huge chunk of my team's business. We have a lot of SOI and referrals we get because we're intentional about asking for that. We do time block daily for our lead generation. So these 5 different pillars, all of them have time in our calendar. We time block the lead generation first because what I've experienced is that new agents, especially, or even old ones that have never done it before. I know I have a few of my teammates on here. Getting on the phone and picking up that phone is the hardest thing to do. Travis knows this. And so it's just a muscle you have to get used to doing, and we're doing it over and over. Something you won't be great at, especially if you've never picked up the phone before and tried to seek out business. So we do time block for that to be done early in the morning. You eat the frog first. That way you get your hardest thing done, because of all these things, I would say that lead generation is the one that keeps the train moving. It has to happen first for everything else to follow. So making sure you have lead generation in your day every single day, at least for 2 hours. And then with that, you have to know your market. So when you're on these phone calls with different buyers or sellers, they're going to ask questions. Knowing your market will help you come across as an expert and already have validity in a conversation that you're having with these consumers that you've never met with face to face. And then the visibility equals opportunity. So everyone should know you're in real estate. You should not be a secret agent. I just jokingly had that conversation with my team at our meeting this morning, in that one of my agents was at the DMV yesterday. She was like, I waited so long, but I'm like, but you can talk to a wall, Sarah. And she was like, yeah, Brittany, I actually told the lady, a clerk, that I was a real estate agent. They connected about her helping her buy a home, her very first home. So no matter where you go, you should always be a lead magnet. Wearing our name tags is one way that it kind of opens up that door. People are always curious about real estate, whether they think the market's bad, terrible, indifferent. It gives you the opportunity to have a conversation with them about buying or selling. And from my personal beliefs, anytime you can pique someone's interest, you have an opportunity to get them on your side, or at least get in community with them. So lead generate daily, make that your number one priority when you begin your day. The next thing is lead follow-up. This is where I see a lot of agents struggle because they fail to reach back out to consumers they have had great conversations with. In our world, my team and I use Follow Up Boss. So Easy Home Search, our different lead sources come into Follow Up Boss. And a conversation is anything that's 2 minutes or more. Once you're past that 2-minute mark, the person hasn't hung up on you, cussed you out, these different things that may happen. You have now permission to start dropping things of value to that person, right? They have some interest in it. You're going to set a next expectation. And when you end that phone call, the initial one, with setting, here's my next best step, or here's what I'm going to do, the best thing you can do is to do exactly what you just said. I find a lot of times agents fail to follow up, and our consumers will ghost us because all of a sudden we are not people of our word. And that's so rampant in our society that if you just simply do what you told them you were going to do next, you will more than likely convert that consumer to being a client, and then making them a client for life, because you're going to always exceed their expectations that they may have. Following up can be done easier. If you're someone who uses pen and paper, stop that. Or if you're someone that say, I don't use a system, I have it all in my head, please do not rely on your head. Real estate is chaotic enough. And then we all throw in the having life around it. Like, we all have a lot of stuff coming at us daily. So in order to not let anyone fall through the cracks, I say use systems like Follow Up Boss, whatever CRM, to track and track them. You want to log all your conversations. So if you do have FUB like we do, I absolutely love being able to record the phone call. It's done automatically, so that even if I'm driving, I know I can go back and re-listen to that. The AI will tag different things like that, give me follow-up steps to make sure that I meet the consumer where they are, and that I exceed their expectations. Treat every lead like money in the bank, because it is. Your CRM is your data bank. That's where you're going to go and build out a scalable, repeatable business. So you want to make sure that every phone call, conversation, email is right there. For my team, I can tell you guys, we don't need to give out our personal cell phone numbers anymore. If it's marketing, it's going to be our FUB number. Even when I'm presenting to other team leaders and I want to get in community with them, I put them on a drip campaign inside of my CRM. I'm sending them things to build up our relationship data bank, because if I expect referrals from them, there has to be a one-to-one human exchange there. And so they even go in my CRM as well. So everybody, mailman, your pastor, like, put them in your CRM, because there's definitely something valuable that you can be sending them that you're just not thinking about sending them right now. Follow up faster than your competition. This is something that Travis has taught us over and over, him and Nikki, is that first 5 minute window when you have someone sign up as a consumer on your website, or they have an inquiry where they're literally raising their hand, you want to follow up with them. It's so powerful when you can see them still on the website, like the button is green on Follow Up Boss. When you can still see them on that website and make that phone call, it's kind of hard for them to lie about being on the website because you can see them on there. Just last week, I had a consumer call me. He was still on the website and he was like, hey, that home evaluation you sent me was wrong. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't know my CRM had automatically sent it to him. That's just the power of Easy Home Search. He was an Easy Home Search seller lead. And we got into a 15-minute conversation where I was able to book the appointment. And then the very next day I went on the appointment and he was like, this valuation is half of what my home is worth. And I was like, there's no way his house is worth that much. Turns out it really was over $1 million listing appointment. And it's simply because I picked up the phone and I did what I told that seller I was going to do. And we were able to remain in a relationship and future plan, getting his home listed this summer and building rapport and not being a robotic drip. So there are follow-up campaigns already pre-built by a lot of the CRM companies. I would challenge you guys, no matter if you're using FUB or something else, to look at what all those campaigns look like. Go in there and add your own language. I talk differently from a lot of folks on my team, so I want my messaging to be consistent. That's the easiest thing you can do if you want to come across as a human. We are in a relationship business. You don't want to be transactional. Meeting someone where they are, being a human, will help you convert more and get more folks to support your business. So building that rapport and editing those email and text campaigns can go a long way. But outside of lead generation, follow-up is definitely where a lot of opportunities are missed. So if you guys are making the dials, putting in those every day, be sure you're tagging the conversations that you have so that you can remember to follow up with those consumers you've already connected with. As an owner operator, the most expensive time to get a lead is when you first purchase it. After that, it's your obligation, it's your duty to continue to keep that personal relationship with you. And you do so by following up with them in a timely manner. The next thing is going on appointments. So if you're a new agent, you don't have appointments yet, you better stay in lead generation and lead follow-up mode. But once you do earn the right to meet someone face-to-face, you're going to set an appointment. I tell all of my teammates, every conversation you have with the consumer should end with the next best step, or here's what we're going to do, and you're setting that appointment. The best time to set that appointment is for 24 hours, if not the same day, 24 hours afterwards. You never want the appointment to be more than 48, because at that time, if they've registered on your website, better believe they're on other websites, the big websites that we all know, and other agents are following up with those folks. So if you're not the best at following up, and we all can be honest with ourselves about that, you need to make sure you get face-to-face with them. Most consumers, I believe the statistic is over like 80%, is something crazy. Most consumers sign with the first real estate agent they meet. Doesn't matter if that agent sucks or not. The consumer doesn't know. We may know as professionals, but they're going to sign with that person first because they got face-to-face with them. So after you do your follow-up, you're always setting that next expectation and try to get in front of them. That can even be something like a virtual consultation. I think that the COVID thing, while a lot of craziness came out of it, the one thing that really helped our market here in East Tennessee, we had a lot of folks still moving here too, was that we were able to do more Zoom and Google Meet consultations. I still do that today for a lot of folks that are moving out our way, relocating from all across the world. So getting face-to-face is important. How does this help you? You're treating it like a job because it is. Just like lead generation and lead follow-up, you should have time blocks on your calendar, and I'll share what my best day should look like in real estate here later. But you should have time blocks in your day for appointments. They should never supersede or take the place of your lead generation, lead follow-up. I think that's what makes people have these lulls, this feast of famine time in their business. But if you're very systematic with the way you approach your calendar and you're not reacting to it, you're proactive, you can plug and play your appointments so that you can still have that, the systems in your life that help you to move the needle forward and keep your business pretty consistent. When you go on those appointments, you will show up prepped, sharp, and intentional because you already have pre-planned in the training phase. We'll talk about that in a minute on what to say in those appointments, what materials to bring. If you're someone that don't have an assistant, I would challenge you to sit down and take a minute to work through your systems. A lot of real estate agents are great with people. You should be. It's a part of your job. However, to keep you from being burnt out, from being overwhelmed, you have to have different systems in your back pocket. Your lead generation systems, your appointment systems, your under contract and negotiation systems. What is the client experience going to feel like once you have them under contract? Because that timeline is the most emotional time for them. You as the agent are there to manage their expectations and to make it feel seamless. Because if they enjoy that time with you, they will end up referring their friends and families and being clients for life, like my client in Loudon, Cody, who literally just emailed me. Craziness. So showing up prepared will put you ahead of the game. I know a lot of agents, I've gone behind them even, that will show up to appointments with nothing in hand. Just talking, blowing smoke with nothing to back it up with. And I've been able to win over those clients because I showed up as a professional with the CMA in my hand, with a marketing booklet, with a video. We show up as teams sometime. That also goes over well with our clients. So just showing to prepare for those appointments, focus on solving problems and not selling homes is a big one. And this start first in the lead generation stage. Your conversation with the consumer needs to be focused on them, not you, right? Every conversation we're focused on the sellers or the buyers. Why? Because we all know that the mind chooses and the heart justifies. So if you miss the point of getting from them why they're even looking on your website in the first point, you're already losing, you're behind the 8 ball. Now you're just trying to sell to them, and that's not going to go over very well. They're not going to listen to you and trust you because you have what I like to call commission breath. They need to know that you understand their motivation behind it, and it's your duty and job to remind them. So when they get emotional, when they get off the rails, you can go back in your back pocket and say, Susie, I understand this is the hard part, but remember, I talked about the home buying process, and the inspection period is the most contentious part. This is the part where I need you to trust me to be your quarterback, get you across the line. So we're going to address the most pivotal parts that are threatening the integrity of the home. I wanted to get the home safe for you. We're going to focus on that. The other 48 pages is attention items, just stuff like that to help control the buyer and then remind them of why they're doing this in the first place. They're going to be emotional. We understand that. We're there to be the professional. And if you want to really be a pro, you need to track your appointment to conversion ratios, right? You need to know at what point in the sales process am I struggling so that I can get further coaching, I can get further training. And if I'm a team lead, especially, what can I pull in to help my guys get better? What resources do we need? If you don't track stuff, you don't know what to improve upon. I have agents that they will make phone calls. They'll say, I made 20 phone calls today. That's not enough data for me to track where you're breaking down in the sales process. You need to make enough phone calls so that you can know, hey, I made 100 phone calls. Out of those 120 people picked up. From that 20, 10%, 10 people had a conversation. From that 10, 5 booked an appointment. From that 5, 2 showed up. We need to be able to track where in the sales process you can improve upon, and it's going to help you get better and convert more people and get in front of them. And like I said, 80% of people or more actually sign with the first agent they meet, regardless of their skill level. Negotiation, of course, a big part of what we do. I want you guys, and my teammates already know this, if you're entering into negotiations, this is not a game of win-lose. You're always looking for a solution for both the buyer and the seller. Yes, I understand you represent your side, but we don't need to approach the other agent and their client as though they're our adversaries. That's a lot of what's wrong in our industry now. We're all in this to help our people achieve their goals. So in negotiations, you want to win for your people, but you also want to play nice with the other side. For your clients, you better know the data, the comps, the terms. It is also very important that you pick up the dang on phone and call the listing agent. I can't tell y'all how many times I have gotten an offer, blindsided by an offer from a buyer's agent, and they didn't even ask what was important to my sellers. Sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes it's about the timeline to get out of the home, giving them time to get their current, for them to find another home because they're selling with a contingency. Sometimes it might be about easiness on negotiation because my sellers don't have a lot of money to make repairs, different things like that. So knowing the data, the comps, and the terms, and what's important for the other side can have everybody come to a win-win solution. Having confidence is your currency, and use it wisely. Going back to the appointment, people sign with the most confident agent, not the most competent However, for your clients, you better be competent if you're out there negotiating things and trying to work in their favor. You want to anticipate objections and come around armed with solutions. This is our main thing as real estate agents. Is one of the core values for my entire office is that we are solution based. Your client has an issue, you're there to solve it for them and to be that quarterback and to get them across the finish line. So if you're met with points of friction, my greatest tip on this is to hear the problem, sit in it. You find a solution, and then you call your client. You never want to call your client upset, screaming, hurt, cussing. I've seen it all before, literally. You want to call your client and have a solution, and that's how they can further keep trusting you as their advisor. Just remain a solution based in the negotiation process. And it's not about ego, it's about outcomes. So drop the ego. This is a very egotistical business. Everybody wants to be the next branding superstar going viral. It's not about that. It's not about your ego. It's about the outcome for our consumers. So if you feel like the other agent is winning or the other side is taking advantage of you, just stop it. Sometimes things don't always work out to where it feels 50-50. But at the end of the day, if we help our clients achieve their goal, you guys have to have this abundance mindset that is going to come back. You help them, they're going to write you a great review. They're going to tell their friends and family about it. And so winning in negotiations can look different. It doesn't always have to look like, the buyer or seller got this at the end of the game. If they get their dream home or they sell that home that's so important to them, that's the win, as long as you back them up and you walk in integrity in doing so. And the last thing I have here is role playing. So practice like a professional. The reason why lead generation and follow-up is so bothersome to agents is that they have never practiced this. They don't have the scripts, they don't have the resources, they don't know what to say. And if your company has that, I would, I know that Easy Home Search, Travis and Nikki, they do provide scripts and things like that. I would seek out those resources, get you other agents that are around you that want to grow in their phone skills as well and role play with them. Reach out to agents in your brokerage, reach out to agents in other states, see how that goes. We have a community here within the Easy Home Search family. So hop on there today and just say, hey, who wants to be our role play partner? We love to do role play Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays as a team. We used to do it every single day, but that role play really gets us warmed up before we go on the phone calls to where we practice those objections with each other. Because the one thing that we have to remember is that we know when we mess up. A lot of times consumers do not. They don't unless they have previous real estate experience. Role playing gets you to where you're sharp. You never forget what to say. You want to have, I used to do this thing back in 2017 when I first got started. I had sticky notes along the side of my computer screen where I was okay, motivation, timeline, are they pre-approved? Are they talking to other agents? Do you have a home sale contingency? I would have those sticky pads on my computer so I never forget the most important things to ask. Number one started with motivation, but that's one trick to help you get comfortable when you're on these phone calls. Train with people better than you. Do not be intimidated. What I love about my team is that we do a lot of calling in our bullpen here. And I do it because it can get chaotic, but I love when I overhear another agent overcome an objection that would have stumped them months prior. That actually happened in our office. Last week, I heard one of my agents overcome an objection, and I'm like, just last year, Michael, that would have thrown you for a loop and you would have stopped at the first no. But he overcame that objection, and another teammate was sitting next to him, Shane. And I then saw an exchange between the two of them about hyping each other up. But then man, that was the way you overcame that. So practice with people that are better than you and try to get in the room if it's possible to where you guys can kind of learn by doing it together. Treat it like a game every day. It's practice time. I never like for my agents to practice on our most expensive leads. You guys should not be doing that either. You should definitely not be practicing when you go on appointments. So practice your full buyer consultation, your listing consultation before actually going on the appointment, understanding where you get stuck so that when you present it, it comes off seamless to the consumer. And again, they sound like the most confident person, not the most competent. And scripts are your safety net. They're not meant to be a straitjacket. I hear a lot of agents say, well, I don't want to sound like a robot. Okay, let's think about that differently. You need to know where to go to stay with it. Have y'all ever bowled? I love to go bowling with my husband, and they have those bumpers they'll put up for kids. I have to have the bumper sometimes, and that's what your scripts are for, to keep you within the bounds of where you need to go to get you to the end game. So that's what scripts are made to do. They're not meant to control you. They're just meant to help you guide the consumer from start to finish if you need to do so more easily. And that's what role playing is. So doing it every single day. So those 5 steps really quickly, and I'll pull up some more stuff inside of my follow-up boss, as well as documents I use for my team to show to you guys. But lead generation, CRM follow-ups, appointments, negotiations, and role playing, those are the 5 things you need to do. That's the 20% that makes 80% possible. I see a lot of agents get so overwhelmed by the minutia of everything. But if you don't do these things, you will have a business that feels like you're not catching traction. And it's because you get dejected in lead generation, you fail to follow up. When you go on appointments, your appointments suck. You can't convert anyone. When you negotiate for clients, you don't know what you're doing. They don't trust you. Everybody hates their lives. And then it can all be solved by role playing it. So role play, lead generate every single day. You guys will have success. I'm going to stop sharing this so I can share what that looks like for my team inside of a Google spreadsheet we have. How do I stop sharing and then share another screen? Let's see here. Charlie's looking at me. Yes, Charlie, I may need to have you come over here for a second. And learn how to use Google Meets. Or no, this is Zoom. So, oh, here it is. So this screen right here, I'm sharing my best day. I have a teammate who wants to close 30 deals. And I said, okay, we need to plan out what that day looks like for you. Again, this is not being reaction to business coming in. This is being proactive and going out there and hunting it down. So we have admin time from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, updating your database, answering client and vendor questions, because those questions will come in after hours. But if there's a vendor thing, like a title question, nobody's working after 9 o'clock, it can wait. And then from 9 to 9:15, we have role play. My team does a daily huddle for check-in, but that role play can be more than 15 minutes. If you need 30 minutes, if you can move this calendar up by an hour, 30 minutes, do so. But role playing before you get going is really important just to get your mind right. And then lead generating. So, and not just lead generation, but where you want to call from. I think a lot of times we say we're going to do these things, and yet we don't go further by identifying how we're going to do it and what we're going to use, what resource. So lead generation, lead follow-up, again, explaining what that is, tasks that are due, checking your pipeline for outstanding touches. You want to make sure every consumer you have a conversation with, you have them adequately staged. We even have lunch scheduled. I have to have my lunch scheduled. I have it right here with me, actually, because I usually eat lunch at 12 o'clock, but I have to plan out lunch because if it's on my calendar, it has to happen. You have your flex space, your daily learning, afternoon naps, naps, appointment, and then inspection period. So planning that out. I love this because we were running into issues where I had agents saying, oh, their home inspection is this time. Now I can't lead generate. We know as the buyer agent, a lot of times, if you're going to go and schedule it or you're making that call on behalf of your client, we'll just make it in that time block. Make it fit into your calendar, not the other way around. I understand there are some circumstances where this doesn't work, but a lot of times we are the center of every transaction, so you have more control there. Do afternoon follow-up. So if someone was at work and you told them you're going to follow up with them, tag that in your CRM, get an alert, follow up with that person. And then going on appointments and then more lead generation in the evening. I have found, because we do some evening lead generation, I have found that that's actually a sweet spot, that 5 to 6 o'clock when people are getting off work, they're in their cars, they're commuting home, dinner hasn't started yet, they haven't gotten with the children. Lead generation again in the evening can help you get those folks that you normally would not get a hold of. And then we have, let's see here. Is this page showing our follow-up boss?
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. So this is what for us in FUB, and again, if you don't have the CRM, sorry, this is what I use right now for my team. But inside of FUB, we had this set up. Travis helped us with the agent day in the life. So I'm looking at Michael, for example. So he can see any leads that came in today. Looks like you already cleared that out. Recently active, 6 people. These are the folks you should probably reach out to because they were active less than 7 days ago, and their last communication was more than 7 days ago. So Michael needs to follow up with them. Appointment set. So he created this one. It looks like the person last visited, he talked to them on the 23rd, he needs to update any appointment set, and this just updating the outcome of the appointment so that then you can go back in and properly restage them. All active clients, he has 12 signed buyers, making sure that he has contact with those guys. For us, our A buyers or sellers, we reach out to them, if not once weekly, more than once, just depending on the needs of the consumer. He has his weekly people, he doesn't have anything there. His bi-weekly touches that are due today, 7 of those, monthly, quarterly, and then update because we're not sure where to place those people. So if you are not using collections as something that helps you to frame out your day inside of FUB, I would challenge you on that to get smarter, because that will help you not lose track or drop the ball on any of your consumers. But that's what I wanted to quickly share about how my team makes sense of this database. We have a pretty big one, and our agents carry anywhere from between 50 to 80. I try to have 80 in their name at a time, but that's a lot when you have active clients as well. So just having the agent day in the life and clearing that out each day will help you win in this market that we're in. But that's all I have, guys. Just really simple. Again, there's not a secret sauce to it, no silver bullet. It's just simple actions that I think that we overlook because, you know, what's easy, I guess people want to overcomplicate. But any questions you guys have?
Feel free to drop questions in the chat, or you can unmute and ask your question. Britany can answer it for you. Sounds like you covered everything, Britany.
I killed it. I talk about this so much, and if I'm actively posting inside of the Easy page too. So if y'all have questions, DM me. I'm always happy to talk through like what you're seeing out there, problems you're facing. I just love helping people problem solve and really to overcome. I think a lot of times, especially with any internet lead company, you know, if you've had a bad experience, you're going to go into something optimistic, and then when you get your first no, you kind of get dejected. A lot of that though is keep it going, keep getting in more reps, keep trying to get better, you know, role playing, and then finding the people that want to ride along with you and also get better. So thank you guys for having me on here.
Of course. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Travis, you want to say anything?
Just want to say thank you, Britany. If you are one of our partners or with Easy Connect, we're doing a community and conversion night next Tuesday evening. So definitely be there for that. If you're interested in learning more about Easy Home Search, visit partnerwithease.com or partnerwithez.com. I'm more than happy to jump on a call with you and show you what we're all about. Appreciate it, Britany. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, we'll be on that call night. We love it. And there has not been a call night where we have not set an appointment. I think we won the first few at the beginning of this year just because we're pretty competitive as a team, but we love the call nights. The energy is amazing. I see Jamie Seam here. They're always there too. Hey, girl. Yeah, but thank you guys.
And we send out prizes. A lot of people don't know this. We send prizes to the top appointment setting agents. You get a swag box and sometimes more from our team just for showing up and showing out, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. Have a blessed week, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Britany.
Thank you, Britany.
Thanks, Britany.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.